All right, folks, so today's assignment is to find out why the car won't start. Right now, the car will not start. It'll turn, it'll crank, but it won't start. So we're gonna try and find out what's going on. I don't want to do that too many times. Just wanted to let you see that it won't start up. So I think it's possible it could be relay switches, trying to do a process of elimination. It could either be relay switches, fuel pump, alternator, crank sensor, a few things. Not sure, so we're gonna have to do a process of elimination one by one until we can fix the problem. So let's get started. Okay, as I explained to you before, the car will not start. It will crank, but it will not start up. So I think it may be electrical. I'm gonna do a process of elimination. It's possible that it's one of the control modules. I think it's like a relay switch or something like that inside of the ECU box here. It could possibly be the crank, I think it's like a crank shaft sensor or something like that. Could be the alternator. I'm not exactly sure of that either. Possibly could be the fuel pump. So these are a few things that it can be. Just a note of reference, I am not a mechanic. Do not profess to be one. However, I will work on my own car if I feel like I can possibly fix it. I don't know. Anyway, this is electrical work. So if you are going to do electrical work, I do recommend that you unplug the battery. And I was hearing some whining noise from the back seat, which is the fuel pump. So I'm gonna replace the fuel pump first. I'm gonna start there. Hopefully that's it. This is just in case you guys, somebody out there, run into the same situation. I'm gonna take out the old fuel pump assembly and we're gonna put in a new one and we'll try and start it up and we'll see if that's it. So stay tuned, let's do it. Now, in this particular car, the fuel pump is located in the trunk. A lot of the models, the fuel pump will be located underneath the rear passenger seat, but I'll show you that mine is located in the trunk. However, you might still want to take out the rear passenger seat just for extra leverage so that when you fold the seats down in the back, you can access more, you'll have more room. And it's held down by two, it's in two areas here, one underneath here and there. Once you lift those up, you should be able to pull the seat out. And I've already loosened this just so we can make this a lot easier for the filming it a lot faster. So we're gonna put the seat over out the way. All right, so there's your back seat there. And then what you want to do is remove the board, remove the trunk board out, you know, that covers your spare tire here. Move this out as well. Okay. So now you should be able to fold the seats down in the back, but let me show you here. This is where a lot of fuel pumps are located underneath here. As you can see, there's nothing there. Just your tank, as well as over here. Move this one as well. It's 3 screws, and that's the same. You want to fold your seats down, and then from there you can access the fuel pump, which is located here. Underneath here. So it's 3 screws here. Remove those. Which I've already done. Take the access panel off and there's your fuel pump. You're probably gonna need a lot of towels and stuff, so make sure you have towels so you can catch some of the fuel that that'll start leaking and stuff. Once you remove the fuel hose, it's gonna start leaking a good amount of fuel based on how much you have in the car. So let me detach this and get the fuel pump out of here. Okay, real quick, I'm going to give you a quick rundown just in case you have the same fuel pump assembly. That way you'll know how to take this thing apart, because it can be a little complicated at times. You can see here, you have a few hoses and some electrical spots here. So what you want to do, you want to pull this out of the slot here, detach this one, which I've already kind of done. Hold on a second. All right, so I'm gonna take these apart. It's got a little clip on it here, so you got to kind of press it down, pull that apart, and then you want to push it away. This one here is connected here. All right, now this one's gonna be a little complicated as well. I just broke the pin, but it has a notch here that you have to press the pin down on to lift up over the notch. However, I broke it probably because it's old and the plastic kind of wears, so it will crack and break on you easily. Now, these guys here are complicated as well. They have a little pin. You have to pay attention here. You push this down to release it. I broke the first one just because it's old plastic, and we're replacing this anyway. But on the other two, you just want to make sure you press it here on the fuel line. Press this button here. It was a piece of plastic. You press it, it'll release the hose here. Same thing on this one here. So just be careful of those, and then you push those out of your way. Okay. And then what we're gonna do is unscrew the top. Now, when it comes to taking the top off of the fuel pump, you may have to either use a screwdriver, something like that, to bang up on it. However, if you have something like this mechanism here, you can put it in the grooves and you can turn it like this and it'll move. So what you want to do is take this off. First, I gotta get everybody out of the way. And keep in mind, you will be losing fuel, so it's gonna smell like fuel for a minute. All right, so you take this off. Okay, it tightens it down. Move that out of your way. And then here's your pump assembly. Keep in mind, it's gonna be, it's floating on top of the gasoline, so. Okay, so real quick, just wanna let you see the old fuel pump assembly right here. And now we have the new one, new fuel pump assembly. We're going to take it apart, check and make sure all the components and stuff are intact, and then we will get out and install it. Okay, so we have the new fuel pump assembly. I'm going to show you a side-by-side comparison of the two. They're pretty much the same. However, the newer one's a little bit smaller. I believe that should help as far as putting it in. Hose assembly is all the same, floaters same, electrical components pretty much the same. Only difference is this particular hose here that's running on this side. Okay, that's the difference there between the two. Let's see, it runs down the back. This one here, down the back there. This one has a little more space. I could cut this, but because I don't have the proper connector, I'm not gonna cut it. I'll leave it like that and just kind of push it out of the way once I insert it into the tank itself. Other than that, I think everything else should be pretty good. Relay hoses and everything match up. And that's going to be about it. By the way, I'm reusing this rubber boot, which goes around the top here. Put the new one in there now. Here's the old one here. So now we're gonna tighten it down, seal it. It's already, I put the seal on it. A lot of times you can reuse the rubber seal, make sure that it's okay and not cracked or anything like that, and you can reuse it. So I'm reusing the old rubber because the fuel pump will not come with the new one. So make sure you check that before you decide to cut the old one off or rip it up or anything like that. Check it and make sure you can reuse it, or make sure you buy a new one. So now the next steps, we're gonna put the ring back on here. I'm gonna tighten it down, put the ring back on it, and then plug it up, and I'm gonna start it up, see if it works. So here we go. now time for the moment of truth. We have put the new fuel pump in here, connected everything. Here's the old one here. You do have to watch out for a couple of things. This was a lot smaller, as I mentioned before, than the newer one. Here we go. So we're in the car, moment of truth. I just finished, what am I trying to say? Tightened up the battery cables on it. And now here we go. Start it up. Okay, I hear something. All right, folks. I hear a little noise. Sound like the fuel pump's working. So it did start up. Now what I'm gonna do is put everything back together. Then I'll take it around the block, come back, let it sit, start it up again. But I'm telling you, it did not start before. Okay, so we'll let it warm up and then I'll take it out. Now that we have replaced the fuel assembly with the new one, it is time to put everything back. So make sure you have your 3 screws, and we're going to cover this back up. Everything is nice and tucked away and sealed up. Now we will replace this. Okay, so that's back in place. Okay, now that I have returned the caps back on the seat, it is now time to reinstall the bottom part of the back seat, which is actually just connected by 2 connectors here, one here and one there. And just like that, we got the back seat back in. Yes. So there you have it. That's how we replaced the fuel pump for the Audi A4, where we had a situation where it would crank but not start. It's ReekG. Till next time, you take care of yourself. Peace.